Kings Island, located just outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, has been open since 1972, and along this park's over 50-year history, they've had a lot of interesting attractions that have come and gone, as well as a very unique assortment of rides that have been planned but not built, and this video highlights my personal favorite of these rides, the long-lost Racer 2 concept for the park that was supposed to happen in the 1990s. Yes, you heard that right. The Racer, one of Kings Island's opening day attractions, was supposed to get a brother coaster added on the other side of the park. A bigger, badder, and arguably better dual-tracked wooden roller coaster that was supposed to open around 1995. The story goes that Paramount Parks, the owner of Kings Island at that time, would approach CCI, or Custom Coasters International, in the early 1990s in an attempt to add a brand new wooden roller coaster to their park. CCI, the wooden coaster building firm that would produce over 30 wooden coasters between 1992 and 2002, would come back with a dual-tracked racing wooden coaster, said to be located to the east of the newly opened Top Gun coaster in the Action Zone section of the park where Banshee stands today. So let's take an in-depth dive through this coaster's layout, animation courtesy of Coaster Nation. As you crest the top of what would have been this coaster's 84-foot-tall lift hill according to the plans, you take a steep drop and reach your max speed of what was estimated to be around 46 miles an hour. This coaster's layout consisted of staying mainly low to the ground, racing alongside the other track for the first part of the layout before splitting up, and then going face-to-face for the rest of the layout about halfway through the ride. The proposed coaster would be very different from the original Racer, however, as the original focused on a long straight out and back layout filled to the brim with airtime hills. Meanwhile, Racer 2 would have a much tighter footprint, focusing a lot more on tight lateral turns and a couple airtime hills here and there, but they definitely were not the main focus of this coaster's layout. The ride was estimated to be just under 3,200 feet long, and just like the original, would have both a red and blue track racing up against each other throughout the duration of the ride. Now, unfortunately, there isn't that much information to be known about this coaster, as the project didn't get too far into planning outside of its layout and the company that would build it before the project was shelved, most likely for budget cuts around the park, and also because the Outer Limits Flight of Fear was set to open in 1994, and that was a pretty big deal for the park at the time. Now, in terms of layout, there is a very similar coaster to Racer 2 that is currently operating in Spain. Stampede at Port Aventura World is a CCI dual-tracked racing wooden coaster with very similar stats and a pretty similar layout to what would have been Racer 2, so if you guys ever want to experience something similar to what this long-lost proposed Kings Island coaster would have been, just book a flight to Spain. Now, I know I have been calling this project Racer 2 throughout pretty much this entire video, but that was not the confirmed name. In fact, this coaster or project as a whole didn't get a name from what I could find online, but the popular rumor is that the coaster would be called Racer 2 and have the tagline of "Built Wilder the second time around." It does have a pretty cool ring to it. And even though the Racer 2 project would never come to fruition, it wasn't quite the end of the story, as later in the 1990s, Paramounts Kings Island would go to Werner Stengel and ask them to design another wooden roller coaster, one to be built by the Roller Coaster Corporation of America and sit on the exact same plot of land that the Racer 2 was supposed to be built on. It would be called Son of Beast. Now, that's a story for a whole nother video, but Son of Beast was a disaster for pretty much everybody involved, so it is really fun to speculate how different Kings Island would be today if they had just gone with Racer 2. Anyways, thank you guys for watching my video detailing the long-lost Racer 2 wooden coaster concept from Kings Island. This was personally one of my favorite videos I've ever made to actually sit down and record, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this coming your way every single week on Hangtime Thrills. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like rating and comment what your thoughts are on this long-lost project. I've been Hangtime Thrills, and I'll catch you guys next time.